So Deborah, just looking at your video, you've got a nice rearward arm swing and a good 90-degree angle, which looks really nice. Just watch as the arms are coming forward, that they're not swinging across the body. But overall that arm swing looks like it's working pretty nicely for you. The other thing to just watch with the arms is just trying to relax the shoulders a little bit more, get that arm swing working from the shoulder joint, so less movement of the shoulders and more the arms just swinging freely from the shoulder joint, but that's not far off at all. Looking at your foot landing, key thing that we're looking for here on flat and level ground is we don't want the foot to land in front of the knee, and it's coming out a little bit in front with a fairly straight leg. If we do a line up through the ankle, ideally we're looking for that line to be through the centre of the knee or even slightly behind it. So if you can think of keeping the feet moving in a circular path, so try playing with some of those different focuses that we used for allowing that foot to float up behind you a little bit more. As we're coming into that cross knee position, that rear leg is hanging a little bit low. We want it closer to parallel over time. Obviously that's something to build up gradually, but try some of those focuses that we play with, like feet in the pedals of a bicycle, so always lifting, or oranges gently squashed behind the knee, or the balloons on the ankles, and just see if you can get that heel just floating up a little bit higher behind you, which will help the feet to land out in front. But also think about using that movement from your centre to help move you, so there's less of a need to pull and push with the legs, and we can use more of that movement from the dantian. Looking at the position in the mid stance where your weight's fully over your foot, we're looking for that relationship between the shoulder, the hip and the ankle. And if we connect those 3 points, you're looking pretty nicely in a straight line. Perhaps think about dropping the chin ever so slightly, think about that nose below the ears, and then lifting up, gently keeping tall, either lifting up from the crown of the head, base of the skull or base of the neck, getting that sense of gentle core engagement in the lower abs, and then just very subtly allowing that whole posture line to fall forward as a unit. Think about moving the dantian forward, so you can get that sense of moving from the centre rather than having to push and pull with the legs, and that would take a whole load of workload off of the legs. So looking from the front view, feet are looking really nice and pretty neutral, not seeing a lot of splay, which is great. Arm swing, particularly that left arm is coming a little bit across the body. So just play with some of those focuses that we tried to stabilise that upper body. So you want really not to keep the upper body stiff and still, but to, as much as possible, have the arm swing coming from a relaxed shoulder joint, so it's not taking the shoulder with it. So try that focus of the mannequin to relax the shoulders, and maybe try with the ichi, with the pyramid with the 3 eyes, to help stabilise the upper body. See how that helps you to get more of the arm swing coming from the arms, and keeping the upper body nice and stable, not too much rotation, because the more instability you create in the upper body, the more the lower body has to work to overcome that. And then I think we mentioned just briefly about practicing walking, just widening the feet ever so slightly. So it's not something I'd try and change while you're running, but just noticing when you're walking, if you can just think about gradually widening the feet, helps to encourage the lateral hip muscles to engage. And try practicing the development of the one-legged posture stance that we did. So that was standing on 2 feet, pushing down through the heel of the support leg, imagining trying to bring the hip of that support leg closer to the ground. So you're feeling those muscles in that kind of back pocket, lateral hip area working, and keeping the floating leg. Should either come up off the floor or at least feel the muscles firing. But rather than hitching up or hiking up the hip of the floating leg. We really want the work in that standing leg, because those muscles, the more we can train them, they're really important muscles for helping keep the pelvis nice and stable as you're running.